Opportunistic. Think about the last few times this person reached out to you. Really think about it. Were they checking in, asking how you were doing? Or did they want something? A favor, money, a connection, help with a problem? And once you gave it, or once the problem was solved, did they disappear again? This is called a utilitarian relationship. They don't value you as a person. They value what you can do for them. You are not a friend in their mind. You are a resource. What makes this hard to spot is that they're very warm when they need you. Friendly, attentive, almost intense. And that warmth feels real because in the moment it is real. They genuinely need you right now, but the warmth is tied to the need. When the need is gone, so are they. Insincere. They say something nice, but somehow, after they say it, you feel smaller. Maybe they told you your presentation was good, and then immediately mentioned they were surprised it went so well. Maybe they said you looked great, and added that you seem to have finally figured out how to dress. The surface is positive, but underneath it, there's a small, sharp edge. This is called a backhanded compliment, and it is a form of passive aggression. What's happening underneath is almost always envy. They want to support you in public because not doing so would make them look bad, but they can't fully let you have the win. So they give you the compliment and take a small piece of it back at the same time. Psychologists link this to what's called covert narcissism, the need to maintain social status by subtly keeping others slightly below them. It's rarely conscious, but it happens consistently, in pattern, over time. If you leave interactions with someone regularly feeling slightly worse about yourself, despite nothing bad technically being said, trust that feeling. Egocentric. You have a problem, something real, something you've been carrying. You start to share it, and within 2 minutes, the conversation has somehow become about them again. Their bigger problem, their harder week, their more important stress. And you're sitting there wondering how you ended up listening again when you were the one who needed to talk. This is called emotional one-sidedness, and it is not occasional. With a fake friend, it is every single time. A real friendship has balance, not perfect balance. Every conversation, sometimes one person needs more, and that's okay. But over time, both people get space. Both people feel heard. With a fake friend, the balance never shifts. You are always the listener. You are always the support. And when you try to be the one who needs something, the conversation finds its way back to them within minutes. Research in social psychology shows that chronic one-sided relationships are one of the leading causes of what researchers call quiet resentment, a buildup of unexpressed frustration that damages a relationship slowly from the inside before either person fully understands what went wrong. Betrayal. You told them something private, not because you were careless, because you trusted them. And then you found out they told someone else, maybe several people. Maybe they told it as a story, something interesting to share at dinner. Maybe they used it to seem more connected, more in the know. A real friend treats the private things you share as a responsibility. What you tell them stays with them. A fake friend treats your private information as social currency, something valuable they can spend to build their own reputation with other people. Your vulnerability becomes their entertainment. The rule that psychologists and relationship experts consistently return to is simple. Watch how someone talks about other people when those people aren't in the room. If they share other people's private information freely, if they gossip easily, if other people's secrets seem to flow out of them without much thought, you are not exempt from that pattern. Your information is no safer than anyone else's. Unreliable. Everyone cancels sometimes. Life is unpredictable. That's real. And it's fair. But there's a difference between someone who occasionally has to cancel and someone for whom canceling on you specifically has become a pattern. Last-minute cancellations, Vague excuses, rescheduling that never actually happens. You put time into the plan, you cleared your schedule, you maybe even got ready, and then the message comes in 20 minutes before. What this pattern tells you is where you sit in their priority list. People protect the time they spend with people who matter to them. They cancel on the people they can cancel on. The people they've figured out will still be there regardless of how they're treated. Exclusion. You see the photos after. Everyone was there. They were all together. And nobody thought to tell you. Nobody thought to invite you. When you bring it up, the explanation is casual. They forgot. They thought you were busy. It was last minute. But it keeps happening. This is called passive exclusion, and it is deliberate even when it's dressed up as an accident. What a fake friend wants is the social access you provide, the group connection, the network, the reputation benefit of being associated with you, without actually including you in the things that matter. Psychologists who study group dynamics describe this as being kept on the perimeter of a social circle, close enough to be useful, far enough to never fully belong. The cruelty of passive exclusion is that it gives the person doing it complete deniability. They never said you weren't welcome. They just never told you it was happening. Scapegoating. This is the one that tells you everything you need to know. Everything about someone's character comes out under pressure, not when things are comfortable, not when there's nothing at stake, but when something goes wrong and there are consequences to face. A real friend stands next to you in those moments. They take their share of the responsibility. They don't disappear. A fake friend does the opposite. When things go wrong, when there's blame to be assigned, when there's a reputation to protect, they move fast. They rewrite the story. They distance themselves. And if distancing isn't enough, they point directly at you. Psychologists call this self-protective attribution, the tendency to assign responsibility for failure to others while claiming credit for success. It's one of the most well-documented patterns in social psychology, and it is painfully common. The version of this person who was warm and present when things were good will become someone you don't fully recognize when things fall apart. Pay attention to who stands next to you when it costs them something to do so.